Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Tourism intends to introduce 33 touristic sites in the governorates for projects for Omani youth and small and medium enterprises aiming to activate internal tourism in the Sultanate. His Excellency, the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, stresses economic partnership between the Sultanate and world countries is in the future path towards development of transferring technology and supporting the youth. And GCC Statistics Center is launched in Muscat to establish an integrated information system. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. In order to increase the accommodation capacity of hotel rooms in the Sultanate and contribute to the development of tourism sector, a ceremony was held today for laying the foundation stone of Saraya Bandar Al Jassas touristic project. It is the latest integrated touristic project in the Sultanate worth 600 million Omani riyals. The event was presided over by His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed. The project will be built on an area of more than 2 million square meters. The project includes 2 5-star hotels of 318 rooms. It is expected that the first phase of the project will be completed by 2017. The Ministry of Tourism intends to introduce 33 touristic sites in the governorate for projects for Omani youth and small and medium enterprises. This was announced by His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al Mahrzi, Minister of Tourism. He said through this approach, they aim to activate internal tourism in the Sultanate. He added that 3 touristic sites were allocated in each governorate. With regards to governorate of Dhofar, His Excellency the Minister of Tourism also affirmed that the government has assigned 15 million riyals for development of services and facilities in the governorate till 2015. He also disclosed that 10 global companies were qualified to implement Al-Kasfa Spring project in the Wilaya of Rustaq. He said the ministry agreed with citizens there to introduce a comprehensive site plan for the project. The statement of His Excellency the Minister of Transport and Communications in its 17th regular meeting of the 3rd annual sitting of the 7th term was continued today based on the needs to develop the sectors of ports, roads, airports and communications. Saif Al-Kindi has more details in the following report.
The second day of His Excellency the Minister of Transport and Communication witnessed an intensive discussions by the Shura members, the strategy for the development of the telecommunications sector during the next phase will focus on further liberalization of the sector and increase the level of competition in the provision of telecommunications services by creating a supportive legal and regulatory environment for investment and competition and to provide high-quality communication services at reasonable prices. Many deliberations and discussions on the topics of the statement have been witnessed, including land transport, delayed assignment of projects, and the actions taken by the ministry in case of delay of these projects, with an explanation of the vision and future plans in this dynamic sector, how to develop the best legislation for land transport activities to strengthen and develop the national economy, as well as the demands of some members in several wilayas. The members also discussed with the Minister of Transport and Communication the railway project and actions taken by the ministry in this aspect in terms of future planning, legislation and regulations. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
The official launching for the Gulf Cooperation Council Statistics Center was held in Muscat today under the auspices of Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs. The inauguration came as a result of GCC statistics apparatus. His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, said that it is a good gesture that GCC Center are distributed among them to spread the interest, adding that when the Sultanate asked to embrace the center, all the GCC members agreed to the idea, hoping that it will be developed to reach all over the world and to be available for the youth. He wished that the statistics subject to be added in the scholastic curricula. He also said that the economic partnership between the Sultanate and world countries is in the future path towards development, transferring technology as well as supporting the youth. His Excellency Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al-Zayani, GCC Secretary General, in a speech said that efforts of joint coordination and cooperation among the specialized apparatus in the GCC are moving forward by directives of Their Excellencies the members of the Ministerial Committee for Planning in the field of exchanging information and expertise, as well as the use of technology in developing statistics and data, besides implementing statistics research programs, joint projects and unifying statistics categories and evidence. The GCC Stats Center is considered the only official statistical reference for comparable and updated information and statistics in relation to the GCC and the official information bank for the GCC countries. The GCC Secretary-General also expressed his aspiration that this vital center would represent an important source and effective addition in the GCC march of integration, not only in the statistical information field, but rather covering various development fields. The center seeks at building and enhancing the statistics capabilities of the GCC countries to cope with the statistical requirements at the GCC level in particular and the global level in general. In coincidence with the launching ceremony, a seminar on transformation in the GCC statistical system was opened under the theme, The Productivity and Facing the Increasing Demand for Statistics. On the sideline of the launching ceremony, an associating exhibition was opened, Statistics Center in the GCC countries. The curtain came down on the activities of the third Gulf Mathematics Olympiad held in Muscat. The conclusion ceremony was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shaybaniya, Minister of Education. 28 winners in the competition from out of 42 participants were honored. The competition came to enhance the teaching of mathematics and encourage students to take part in regional and international contests. It also aimed to strengthen friendship ties and exchange expertise in this field among GCC countries' students. The conclusion ceremony included the recitation of poetry and performance of Omani traditional arts. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. The Ministry of Heritage and Culture organized a workshop titled Joint Archaeological Heritage of the Sultanate, India and Pakistan. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Oman Under Microscope Gallery was opened under the auspices of His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs. It was a result of a several-day forum gathering Arab and foreign photography. 14 photographers from various countries came to take part in the event. They toured the Sultanate to capture the beauty of the people, culture and civilizations. The participants created, as specialists said, a successful exhibition which highlights the improvement in the level of photography. Exchange of points of view and discussions of number of matters were at the focus of meeting of His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Rasbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, with the delegation of Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee led by the Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. Matters discussed were related to committee's works. Military matters and security cooperations were discussed by Major General Matar bin Salim al-Blushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, with a delegation of Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee led by Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. During the meeting, they had cordial talks and discussed a number of matters of mutual concern. Air Force cooperation and developing relations between the two countries were the center of the meeting of Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali al-Ubaidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, with the delegation of Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee led by Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. Spheres and concern of two countries in that related to Navy were discussed by Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, with delegation of Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee led by Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. Developing training and education at military fields were at the focus of meeting between Major General Salim bin Musallam Qatan, Commander of National Defense College, with the Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee led by Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. Developing security and police relations were discussed by Major General Sulaiman bin Muhammad al-Harthi, Assistant to the Inspector General of Police and Customs for Administrative and Financial Affairs, at the meeting with Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs, who is currently on a visit to the Sultanate to attend the meetings of the Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee. They also discussed aspects of joint cooperation in related spheres. Meetings of the Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee concluded today, where the two sides discussed march of existing cooperation in military fields. The Omani side was chaired by Brigadier Rashid bin Saif Ashidi, Assistant to the Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces for Operations and Planning, while the Iranian side was led by Brigadier General Mustafa Salami, Assistant to the Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces for Operation Affairs. His Excellency Masagos Thi Al-Kafil, Senior Minister of State for Foreign and Interior Affairs of Singapore, visited Sultan's Armed Forces Museum. He toured various sections and wings of the museum and had a look at its contents of manuscripts and exhibits that embodied epochs of Omani histories, besides exhibits related to Sultan's Armed Forces and its development and modernization. Joint archaeological heritage of the Sultanate, India and Pakistan was the theme of a workshop organized by the Ministry of Heritage and Culture. A host of experts from Oman, India, Pakistan and some European countries took part in the workshop, who talked about the studies they conducted to explore the ties binding the three countries in the past. The work papers focused on the archaeological heritage in Oman, archaeological researches in Western India, and the civilization of Majan. The Ministry of Housing offered a tender to construct roads and level site of allocated residential area for citizens of the Wilaya of Liwa who were affected by activities of Sohar Industrial Port. Two architectural models were approved for citizens' houses. One of them for a separate unit consists of 2 floors and the other, a double unit, consists of 2 floors for different designs for houses. Front sides were also approved. The Ministry of Housing confirmed that the project had achieved an advanced strides, mentioning that its implementation will be at simultaneous periods within numerous tenders. It's worth mentioning that the project area is 800 hectares, will accommodate 30,000 people and will have various services such as schools, children playgrounds, mosques, a health center and green surroundings. Consultation seminar was held on Sustainable Development Strategy of Agricultural Sector 2040 at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry branch in the Wilaya of Khasab. It is within acquaintance and discussion seminars held by Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth in cooperation with Food and Agriculture Organization FAO in the governorates of the Sultanate. It was opened under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Khalifa bin Al-Mirdas Al-Busaidi, Governor of Masandam. It aimed to interact with opinions of participating and authorities concerned, to acquaint with challenges facing agricultural sector and to listen to proposals that will develop the sector. Its targets is to reach to self-sufficiency in some agricultural products. And now for the general weather forecast. Around the Sultanate, clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of fog over parts of the governorate of Al-Wusta and Dhofar. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly, light to moderate. Seas along the coast will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. And now, before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Tourism intends to introduce 33 touristic sites in the governorates for projects for Omani youth and small and medium enterprises, aiming to activate internal tourism in the Sultanate. His Excellency, the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, stresses economic partnership between the Sultanate and world countries is the future path towards development of transferring technology and supporting the youth. And GCC Statistics Center is launched in Muscat to establish an integrated information system. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.